What's good, peoples? Sorry, look at that mistake. Okay, sorry. What's good, peoples? BIGCED, the industry cosign, back with my latest edition of My Friends Are Better Than Yours. And I'm actually honored for today's guest. I will never say this again, ever. Um, Most of you who have been involved in hip hop or know anything about hip hop or just New York in general, you know, this guy here is the actual pioneer. I'm never going to use the word legend when I speak about him, at least not in public. But he's definitely has done his thing. Dana Dane with Fame. We go as far back as high school, so I actually knew him. I was a freshman in high school when him and his crew, the Kangol Crew, were like the big men on the block, so to speak, and we've been friends ever since. So I do take pride in knowing that there have been people that I've actually cool with that are actually doing things. And for anybody who's here for the first time, the purpose of this platform that I've created, My Friends Are Better Than Yours, is to showcase people that I've either known for years or I've known doing things. I'm used to speaking to like celebrities, executives, and things of that nature. I still do, but on my own forum, I prefer to speak to real people that I'm actually cool with, that I actually respect and what they do. And that's basically it. So it's I'm trying not to make it a long one because we've known each other for so long. And the only thing I hate about talking to somebody I've known for so many years is that even though I know so much, it's a matter of what are we going to talk about that'll be relevant. But I'm going to introduce. Well, I'll let him do a little short introduction. Dana Dane from Brooklyn, New York, infamous rapper. I wouldn't say infamous. I'll say legendary rapper. Like I said,
The great one, the great one, your one and only master ceremony.
we're gonna get into so much, so you're gonna understand why I feel the way I did, and But I'll allow him to introduce himself, and then we take it from there. What's good, Dane?
What up, Said? Yeah, me and Said. What's up, everybody? It's a great one, Dana Dane, Fort Greene, Brooklyn, Kangol Crew. You know what it is. Much love to your brother, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blessed, because that was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew Sid back when he used to carry my books and shit. Yo, carry my books, Sid now. But we definitely was in high school together. Who knew we'd be here doing this thing? You know what I mean?
And especially so many years later.
Yeah, over 30 years. Yeah, it's over 30 years. That was 81 for you. I was in the 80. You got in the 81, 82, right?
I was about to say it's more like 40 because I came in as a freshman. You graduated in 82, if I'm correct, right?
No, I graduated in 83.
83. So yeah, and 2023 was 40 years. So it's been like,
oh yeah, exactly. See what I'm saying? Wow,
more than 40 years. I mean, you look that old, but I look
just like you, Grandpa. What the hell are you talking about?
You have the gray hair. That's it. So, but like I said, it's going to be so many things to cover, and I know we're not going to have as much time as we can if we want to talk about things. But what I want to do is first acknowledge something that you're doing now, and most people, of course, know you as a rapper, and I want them to definitely know what you're doing today because you have something that's actually being released this week. So let's talk about that first, and then wherever the conversation goes, we just go. But I'll leave it to you to let the people know what's coming up.
Yeah. So thanks Said too for you on your platform, man. First and foremost, man. And talking, we've been trying to make this happen for a minute, and that's what it is because we feel like, okay, we'll get to the next time. Yeah. Okay, we'll get to the next time. But it's a great time to be on right now because I got my next movie that I produced called Sin. It's my first SAG feature film that I produced. So had all the bells and whistles in regards to going and doing all that hard paperwork. And I'm also proud of this film because able to sign an award-winner Lou Gossett Jr. To this movie, And excuse me, I got allergies. Eyes gonna be watering all night. But anyway, I was able to sign Lou Gossett Jr. He, when we sat down at the production table, and talking about who we wanted to play this character. We dropped names like Morgan Freeman and Lou Gossett Jr. and legendary actors in their era. And when I said Lou Gossett Jr., everybody, all the producers said, "Yeah, we should get him." I said, "We're gonna get him. Watch. If he likes the script, we're gonna get him." And that's what happened. This cat named Dutch that wrote the series, he picked this script, and we were trying to find someone to come on board and produce it. But that's for another time. But the movie comes out August 1st on Tubi. A couple of days now, we live, right? 29th, so a couple of days from now. And I want everybody, when you see the poster, share the poster or share the video for word of mouth to make this thing move. I've been doing films now, whether people know or not, since 2006 now. 2006 I did my first project, and that was called The Sty. It's a 5-part DVD series. That's how far back that goes, a DVD series. So, and there was 40 minutes each episode, and we did it with the little no money. We probably spent $500 on it. But the great thing about the project, though, it taught me everything that I needed to know about making films, and also I got to work with my hip hop family. I mean, Chuck Rock is in it, Sadat X is in it, Big Daddy Kane is in it, Scuba Scrap Lover, Roxanne Shante, Gina Thompson, Chuck Chill Out, Positive K, and I'm missing Kwame. How can I forget Kwame? And that was my set off for getting in film. Now, mind you, said you know me forever. You know what I mean? You never heard me talk about no films. Kid and Play, doing their movies. I never even tried to be in a film, really. You know what I mean? The one time I did, it was a bomb. It was I think it was Bamboozle. I was the worst actor ever. I think Spike Lee laughed his ass off, bro. He's like, what is this guy doing? But anyway, I never even thought about making movies. But in 2016, I went to my son's play. It was a high school play, and he was dope. And I was like, wow, my son is dope. I need to get in this business just in case do what he want to do. Then he got a pathway to come and do it. He hasn't followed that yet, but I just fell in love with making movies. So it brings us to where we are right now. Sin, August 1st, Angel Love, Bella Black, Sean Nelson, Marquand Smith, and the legendary Academy Award winner, Lou Gossett Jr. Check it out, y'all. Share it, all right?
It's funny because Marquand was actually one of my first guests. We spoke about 2 years ago because I met him because he's Father MC's younger brother.
Yeah, I look when I connected it. Oh, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
So of course, me and Tuffy used to roll with the Uptown Crew back when they first started. So that's when I met a very young Marquand. Now he's doing things with being the executive producer of the Forest Whitaker,
Godfather of Harlem.
Godfather of Harlem. So
yeah. Watch that, John. That's a dope show, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it's funny that you mentioned him. Like I said, he's one of the first guests, and I want to ask you, like, and the good thing about let me start by saying that there's a lot of people that when they get into the hip hop field, once they kind of stop rapping, let me rephrase that. Once they stop being on the level of what people consider hot, they either fade away or you never hear from them again. And what I can appreciate is when people like you are still doing things. Why did you transition? Now, I know you've done so many things before that, and we'll get into that. But since we're on the film thing right now, what led you to go to film directly, and what motivated you to finally get your steps in the way that you wanted to in the film industry?
Yeah, it was more about, when I was rapping, you know what I mean? It wasn't rapping was my love. Hip hop is. And I love hip hop, you know what I mean? But rapping wasn't my passion no more. It didn't feed me like I needed it to. It started feeling like one dimensional, and I was like, I'm doper than just rapping. I can do so much more, but I'm not doing anything but just trying to rap. and the business changed for me. So I was like, you know, that's more. I think it was more like that. The business changed, and even though I was making music myself, it was like it's not a career there for me. I didn't see one. I didn't see a pathway. But like you said, I did a lot of other things before I got here. But once I tapped into writing scripts and then the whole collaborative process of working on making a film, that's when I figured it was for me, because I'm a collaborator. You know what I mean? I like to work with other people to bring something from, from just the idea, from conception to completion, basically. And this gave me the opportunity not only to be a writer, I could be a rapper, I can be an actor, I can be a producer, I can, assistant. So I can do sound, anything that I want to do. I can be a graphic artist if I wanted to, because those are all of my talents, but I don't have to use them all the time. But some of the movies that, because of the budgets, you have to use all of them and do everything. But it just gave me an opportunity to tap into all my talents and my passion,
What do you say to and it's funny because, like I said, I have a whole list of things to talk about, but I don't know where to go and I try to stay on topic, but of course, you know me as knowing me, like I can't even stay on topic whenever I'm on topic. But when it comes to, because, and the reason why I bring this up in part because one of your best friends, Slick Rick, just released his latest project. Kwame has been all over Instagram saying he's about to release a project next month. Then you have Common, Pete Rock, so many of the artists that
Trey Lee, LL dropped his joint last year. Redman just dropped his joint. Sadat X is coming. He got his joint out, and which is banging. You know what I mean? Positive, Greg Nice. It's cats. They dropping music, man. They dropping music. And look, I am doing music too, though. Inspired again. You know what I mean?
That was gonna be one of the questions as well.
I'm definitely. I'm working with DJ Skill Spins, man. I met him out in Mexico. He's a DJ, dope DJ. He DJs for Yo-Yo. But anyway, I met him and we clicked and we've been going back and forth. But I already had tracks from different people too as well. So he's helping me, put that together. So we collaborating. But yeah, man, I got a new project that I'm working on called The, you know what I mean? That I'm coming with. I don't know when it's going to be released though. I'm taking my time. There's no rush, but I am going to drop a single in August this month. I'm going to drop a single this month, though. I'm just going to put it out. Boom! Here you go. You know what I mean?
That's the way to do it nowadays anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the music is there, though. I always make songs. I just never let people hear them, And shout out to Slick Rick. That joint is the 30-something odd minute visual album. That's dope. Him and Idris Elba put together. Victory. I love it, man. That's about being creative, going beyond what you usually do and doing something different. I mean, that's the path for people, to create something bigger and better. I know I'm inspired by it, for sure. I can't wait to hear what Kwame do too. That joint is gonna be dope, man. Yeah, that's gonna be dope, man. You know what I mean? Thurston Howell. Oh, I can't forget my man Thurston Howell III. He dropped his album. I actually helped him not produced, but AD some of the videos. I actually got a song on there called Character. Snaggerpuss, Young Hump. Yeah, man. Is on the joint.
Actually, Raekwon is Raekwon is
Raekwon.
Yeah, so it's like
dropping new.
So I think it's a good time for hip hop.
Clips,
Clips as well. So it's like,
I feel like Jay-Z is about to drop an album now.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna drop soon because But the reason why I brought all that up because hip hop seems to be the only genre that actually not only eats its own but gets rid of them quicker. Because you have the Rolling Stones, they'll release an album now and probably go platinum in 40 minutes. But then you'll have somebody in hip hop that's doing their thing, and then they won't pay attention to. And I think that even R&B, maybe it's a black thing, I don't know. But I know in other genres of music, they always, like, as an example, God Bless the Dead, Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, like him just passing away, I guess had gotten a resurgence for, heavy metal fans and things of that nature. But in hip hop, and even though hip hop has always been, I've always said to people like hip hop has always been young. But I also say that hip hop was young when hip hop is still young in comparison to other genres. So when people use the excuse about hip hop is a young man's sport, I'm like, that's bull, because we didn't get a chance to grow. And now that we've grown, now you want to take it away and be like, no, we want to keep it. And I've always thought that it was the gatekeepers who did that, because we still have people like you, Chuck D, other people who actually sound better than what they're putting out today, but they're not going to support it because they're older hip hops. And I never understood that mindset. And I'm hoping that with and I like the way Kwame is leading when he's like, I see on his TikTok, I mean on his Instagram, he's like, why is it that any rapper over 40, when they do a crime or when they release or something, they always got to put the person's age, and they always got to, and it's like, yeah, why would you have to put that narrative then just to put it out? And I know this is your interview and I'm talking a lot, but I just think it's amazing that and I think that I'm liking the fact that everyone, even the fact that Nas was a late bloomer when it came to Grammys and things of that nature, and stadiums that are being sold out are by artists like 50 Cent, Eminem. The younger artists can't sell out arenas. So I think that's a testimony.
They had a rush for a minute. The young artists getting paid all that money,
yeah.
and they was blowing up. But because it was a social media thing that was happening as well. But the performance didn't really add up to, from what I was hearing, the performance wasn't adding up to the song that they had. Once they got to see them in person, and hip hop artists, man, and just hip hop, man, is a different. It's just a whole different monster. I think, like you said, I think it was the gatekeepers, because they wanted to keep so they can keep
recycling and taking money,
because once you get to it at a certain age, you ain't taking that crap no more. You paying me. You know what I mean? And then they don't want to pay, and then they like, okay, then they said, how can we keep them under? They created a 360 deal with that, where they own everything. I'm like, man, they try to do the same thing with this film industry as well. I'm like, man, I'm not signing on 1985 contract for no film, man. What you talking about? Where you get everything and I never get anything again? Come on, man. It's played out.
Well,
it's definitely played out.
Actually, since you said that, now as far as, because of course it's different politics, of course, between music and film industries, but
really
getting into that game, like how was the transition, knowing how shiesty the music business was, but then realizing it's a different type of shiestiness when it came to the film, and how were you able to navigate it where you were able to at least get on solid footing before actually being able to do something?
Yeah, I think it's the same shiesty to me, though. You know what I mean? The industry is shiesty. I mean, it's all about content. It's all about distribution. Who controls the distribution of the content? You know what I mean? And it's the same game. It's just that more people that you have to work with to get a film done, and more people want to take away what you put your hard-earned time and money into, and try to figure out how to give you less for what you created. It's the same thing, though. You know what I mean? It's a lot of greed. It's a lot of backstabbing. People still want all the notoriety. As collaborative as this is, people say they collaborative, but they always me. Look what I did. Pay me. Don't worry about that person. It's the same thing to me. I don't think anything is. I don't even know if there's so much of difference in it, man. It's are they good people in music? Absolutely. Are they good people in filmmaking? Absolutely as well. But it's a hierarchy thing that goes on in music, in film as well. Because if you can't they don't let you jump the line. Actors been doing this for 20 years, waiting for opportunity to direct and do what they got to do and get to where they want to be. And they want you to put in, you know what I mean? And real quick, even though I started this joint late in 2006, here I am in 2025, you know what I mean? And I'm just getting my first SAG feature film out. I've done feature films, don't get me wrong. I've done series before, but when you get into doing it under a SAG umbrella, that means that you're working with a lot of the artists who have, at times been on TV, for hit shows and or have been part of hit movies and things of that sort, or people who just really take their career seriously in regards to wanting to protect their health plan and eat the right way and making sure they get paid the right way, because this is a hard business. So just like like music, and even though film is a little bit better because they do have a health care plan and things of that sort with SAG, they ain't got that in music. You know what I mean? It's like you out there, you better put some money away that Cobra when you get that when you get that show check. you know.
For people that don't understand, could you explain what SAG is?
SAG is the Screen Actors Guild. Where it's also connected. I forget the acronym for AFTRA, but that has to do with music side of entertainment. But the SAG part is for those who act or perform on TVs and or plays and things of that sort, and in the entertainment industry for visuals, directors. They have the direct deal, so this is for the actors, and you can become a member, and they protect you basically when you go out for these movie roles to make sure that there's a minimum wage you get paid, make sure that health and pension taken out. You can retire off of this if you're really taking this business of acting serious.
Cool, yeah, because like you said, you mentioned SAG. Of course, I know what SAG is, but there's probably some people that's like, what does he mean by SAG? What does he mean by SAG? So I just want to get a little.
Yeah, and I think it's a real privilege to be able to SAG movie. You know what I mean? It's a little more difficult than doing an independent movie, non-union. But I think that the quality of the work and the effort that goes behind SAG actors and the whole situation is really worth it if you can, follow the rules, get the paperwork in order, and just get the right budget, because you have to have the right budget to work with SAG. They got different levels to work with SAG, but I've been working with the small budgets, and it's hard to pull it off. You've got a lot of things that you have to meet under the small budget.
So getting SAG film is like graduation from, of course, no disrespect, from the minor leagues to the major leagues, because
I mean, they both are equally as important, because there's a lot of great movies that haven't been SAG, but you know what I mean. At the same time, this just that's I wouldn't be able to do. I wouldn't be able to do an independent film with Lou Gossett Jr. if not with SAG, because he's a SAG actor. He's been in Dickstown, he's been in Officer and Gentleman, and all these dope movies. You know what I mean? And they have, he's been a part of that guild where they have protected his worth, basically. You know what I mean? And going through that, even though he still came in and showed us love, because we didn't have enough money to pay Lou Gossett Jr. We a small budget, you know what I mean? Lou Gossett Jr. is big money, but he loved this. He worked with us and came in and made it happen for us,
Who's that like working with him? Because of course, I know that people in different like sports, film, music, like they all have levels of respect for each other, but then when you actually work together, it's on a different, like, I mean, of course he's a legend, and well, he was a legend, I should say, and I know
he's still a legend.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But what I meant when I said that, I meant as far as you know what I meant. Like, now I lost my train of thought. But getting somebody like him on a project, even though you've been in the game for as long as you have, do you still feel that as an accomplishment because of who he was or who he is?
Yeah, absolutely. It was an accomplishment, because we're working with a budget, that was under $50,000 to start. You know what I mean? And we want to make a movie that looked like $1 million. And I think we did meet that, because we didn't end up spending 150. It became a real budget. after a while, you know what I mean? Still under the SAG low minimum, but more than what we started. But with that said, you know, getting to work with the level and quality of actor that he is, what he brings, it's, you know, I was thinking about that today, and I was getting a post together, and I thought about, because I reached out to his son, Sati Gossett. I know his son. We played basketball in LA a few times and hung out. I actually went to him first, and I said, "Yo, I want to get you in this movie." He gave me his email and just said, "Hit him," and I hit him up. He responded to me, and I said, "You know what? That's too close to home. I don't really want to do family. I want him. I want to make this happen if he wants to do the movie, because the script is good and he feels like this is something." So
not as a favor, not as a favor, but because he
you know. So and it wouldn't have been a favor anyway. Well, who knows? I didn't want to go that way.
No, I'm just saying the mindset, because like you said, to get it the regular way, as opposed to, oh, you know, my son, okay, well, I'll look out for my son because, you know, you and my son.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so what happened was I reached out to Leslie Green. She got a casting company in Atlanta called SE Casting. And I was like, Les, I want to get in touch with Lou Gossett Jr. He said, she was like, "Ooh, that's going to cost you." And I'm like, "What's it going to cost me?" And I said, "Ooh, it's going to cost you." So I called Terry Vaughn. I said, Terry, what am I supposed to pay Gossett Jr. if he wants to do my movie? She said, "Whatever he asks for." I said, that sounded about right, because it is Lou Gossett Jr., you know what I mean? So, and, you know, it's an independent film, and, you know, just working with him, and this is going to lead up to me, your question about acting, feel to work with a legend, you know, me being of my status and coming to this game. But anyway, Leslie takes the script to him, and after a couple of reads it, and he says, "I've never played a character like this. I love it. I want to do it." I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Lou Gossett Jr. said he wanted to do our movie, written by Dutch. I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? But here came the hard part. We had to negotiate the pay now.
Of course,
so we said about a number, and he came back and said, "No, that's not going to do, buddy."
I don't want to do it that much.
yeah. But then he said, yeah. Then he said, "Okay, I'll do it for that." And then I went and talked to his lawyer. He said, "Nah, I never let him do it for that amount." So it was a negotiation. But finally, we came to agreement. And then before we went to shoot the movie, we went out to ATL, and we went out to ATL to his house. You know what I mean? Because we live. And he invited us over, myself, the director, and Les. We went over to his house and had some lunch. And he's sitting there telling us about Africa. And I had just recently gone to Africa, so he's telling me about Africa. So we got this in common, and telling me how majestic the land is and how he loved it, and you know. And then he starts talking about his career being on stage, and you know how he used that energy. And then he just went into the character of Isaiah for our film. And he's sitting there talking to us about the character, because the character Isaiah is a blind painter, right? And he sees you as you are. He sees your soul, doesn't see your face. So, you know, anyway, so, and he's telling me, "Hey, you know, this is what I'm thinking about playing the blind character. I don't need any glasses or shades." He said, "I called up Stevie Wonder, and Stevie Wonder told me this is what I said." "Wait a minute, what?" He said, "Yeah, I'm talking to Stevie Wonder to get the character right. So what do you think? Should I, is this a," and he's asking me my opinion of the character he's going to play in my movie. And then the director is there, and I'm like, this is Lou Gossett Jr. asking me, you know what I mean? Something, you know? But it was surreal, you know what I mean? To get to your point, it was surreal to be in the company of this legend, humble, grateful, gracious, commanding, and just real personable. You know what I mean? Real personable, and I learned a lot. And he's like, you know, it was a hard project, man. Doing Sing, it was like my first SAG project. So, like I said, that paperwork was crazy. You know what I mean? It was crazy for me, and just navigating it with everything else. And even though I've done feature films, most of the cast and even some of the producers hadn't done a feature film before or produced anything of this level. So it was really trying at times. And I don't know if it was on my face or anything, but you know, when Lou Gossett Jr. came to one of the shoots, he was just sitting in the Sprinter. He said he called me Dana, Mr. Producer, and he said Dana, producer. You know, it's gonna be hard times when you're doing this thing. You know what I mean? But I see that you got the what's the word he used? He said you got the I can't remember the word right now, but he said the balance state. It basically means the balance, you know, to get it done. He said, just stay your course, man. You got this. And I remember that every time times got rough, I remember telling me, you got this. Just stay to who you are and keep your balance and everything out. And it did, man. I really wanted him to see this movie before he passed away, but unfortunately, he wasn't able. We weren't able to get it done on time.
Like you said, it was good that you were able to get some type of guidance from him. And
yeah, man, it was incredible, man. And just the kick, on the set, because I went to his house a couple of times actually in Atlanta, meet with him, and and we went one time to talk about the character. Next time we went, he was showing us the wardrobe wear because he picked out his wardrobe. And he's like, yeah, I want to wear these African garb, and this is going to be my vibe. And I was like, man, he really thought this thing out, you know what I mean? And I was like, he's taking this movie serious. And like I said, as the first SAG feature film with a really modest budget, you know what I mean? It was refreshing to see someone of his level still treat this like the Joint Enemy Me, or Digstown, or Officer in General, or Roots, or whatever else he did there. He was so incredible in, and give it the same energy. So forever grateful for that, forever grateful.
Did he know Dana Dana rapper?
No, I don't think
he met the filmmaker, but I'm saying, did he know?
Yeah, you know what? I don't even know if we had that conversation. I'm gonna have to ask his son, Sati, about that, because he would know. You know what I mean? And I was just in awe of being in, and he was telling me about his friendship with Chris Tucker, because him and Chris Tucker is people. So I'm just just listening to the stories and just kicking it with him. And I don't know if I even mentioned me being a rapper. I'm not even sure.
Yeah. I'm just curious because just curious.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I just took it for granted that he knew, or I don't even know if it even made a difference because it was Lou Gossett.
No, I'm not saying that may have factored. I'm just saying, did he just know? Because the way it sounds,
yeah. I know what you're saying.
Who he was.
I never. Now that I think about it, I don't even know. Yeah.
So you didn't play the I'm a rapper card. No.
yeah. I didn't play my I'm a rapper card. I was strictly on my producer game. You heard?
I saw in the chat that DJ Burn and Music Rocker was in. They said, what's up? And
Burn, Music Rocker.
Facebook Grandmaster D said, what up? Larry Hendricks, Angie's brother, who graduated.
Yeah. Blessings, Larry.
Yep. I just happened to catch it. That's why you see me looking up, because I'm looking at different things. But I got so many things. Okay. I want to kind of go back a little further because, like, you have so many slashes. When I say slashes, radio personality, MC, author, producer. I can't even read my own writing. Screenwriter, entrepreneur, because you had the fan.
Yeah, fan cake, man. I'm trying to get my fan cake back off. Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, I did it. I did the man. I really want to rap because nobody, as you can see, blows on cakes, and you know what I mean. they still waving them out, or they taking the candle out and blowing it in the hand. But you know, I'm gonna save the birthday cake tradition, man. I'm gonna get my Fanta cake back out there. It ain't over.
Well,
it ain't over. But
you got to feature in your next film.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
You know, but yeah, you know, when I transitioned out of hip hop, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I actually just had a regular job. I was doing some telecommunications actually. Remember the defunct company WorldCom?
Yeah.
And that's when they did. Yeah, that's right. That's when the mobile phone area was just taking off, and they needed all these digital lines. I was in there plugging in DS1s and TS1s and things and routers and stuff like that. But that was short lived because, like I said, even the music business wasn't my passion no more. I still rap, and so that lasted for about a couple of years, and then 2004, I think it was, 2002 actually. I was like, man, I need to get back out there and get back to hip hop, you know. So I was looking for some work, and I ran into Kim Spellman. His name was another Special K, not the Special K, only two Special K, but from the radio side. Well, from the other radio side.
He's down in Florida.
Yeah, he's down in Florida. Yeah. I went out to some party that they had. Ed Lover was hosting or some comedy. Donnell Jones was there, I remember. Eddie F was there. A whole bunch of people was there. And I ran into Ken. He's like, yo, they're starting this thing called Sirius Satellite Radio. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, you know, they're going to be beaming radio to the side. I got it right off the back. And I said, yeah. I said, who's going to be able to afford that? He said, yeah, they'll come up, man. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to get on the radio. So, but I was at that time, man, I was so plugged in about getting something done. As soon as he said it, before he got him out, I was like, yeah, I can do that. I ain't never did it before in my life except for interviewing. I was like, yeah, I can do that. You know what I mean? So I went up there, and Lady B actually was up there, and she had a show. And she actually, once I got on, she was a big mentor for me in regards to radio and making sure my vibe was right and, you know, doing radio. So that was a great experience. I was up there at Sirius doing Backspin 43 before the same channel as Rock the Bells right now, before they had it, because they went through different, you know, people running the channel. But with that said, you know, I was there for about 6 years doing that. It was really dope, though. I had the opportunity to learn how to do radio, be a personality, interview some of my peers and heroes at the same time. You know, I've interviewed Run, you know, when he had his sneakers out. I interviewed LL, Roxanne, before she's on the radio now. Kwame, my friend Chubb. Speech. I interviewed so many people over there and learned how to be an interviewer and not just an interviewee, and just having the opportunity to do that. That was a dope opportunity. And then at the time I was doing that, you know, the content world or Facebook was taking off, you know, getting a little bit more energy. Well, it was MySpace actually, MySpace into Facebook. Yeah, and my MySpace page, I still remember that. So, but you know, and just doing that, man, that was just a cool little vibe for me. It kept me in the mix of hip hop. I was, you know, I learned a lot about hip hop because I had to do prep on. I didn't really know and things of that sort. One of the cats was Mellow Man Ace. I knew his song, but I didn't know who he was. But I used to do these little blurbs on the thing, and when I talk about artists, and he was one because he was a Latino artist, and I wanted to mix it up. And then, 12 years later, I run in, well, not even that long, I run in Mellow Man Ace. Now me and him is mag tight and shit like that. You know what I mean? So that's a full circle moment. But during that time, that's when I started writing. I wrote my first novel because Street Fiction was out, and Sister Soldier had it going on with her book, The Clincher. Then Dutch came out, and so many other people, Terry Williams, and so many people came out. Nikki Turner, she had her book, and that's how I got my book deal in 2007 actually. Somehow I ran into Nikki. Oh, I know it was my lawyer. Her name was Scott. Scott, I can't remember now. Jake Scott or Jake Scott. Anyway, my attorney. Huh?
And his last name started with an M.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I just can't remember the last name.
Scott Mason. Scott Mason. I think, yeah, Scott Mason. Anyway, he hooked me up with Nikki Turner. And Nikki Turner was working with a book, a compilation, I think, with Styles P at the time, too, as well. And so I had just wrote this rhyme about a cat who was a story about a cat who got into the drug game. I don't know why I wrote the rhyme, but I wrote it. You know what I mean? And it was just a little story there. But anyway, Scott Mason and Nikki, and I said, yeah, I always wanted to write a book, She said, yeah, I'm doing a compilation. Just do a paragraph. I mean, a chapter rather. And so while we talking about doing a chapter, I'm like, nah, I don't want a chapter. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do the whole novel. You know what I mean? I don't want to do a chapter. You know, I want my own book. So she went back to Random House Valentine. They said, bet they wanted. She took I took the rhyme out of rhyme and wrote it as a short story. That's how I got it. Let me go back a little bit. And it was called Numbers, about a guy who was, that's the name, the book became Numbers as well, about a young hustler who was just with numbers. And I took out a rhyme form and made it a little short story. And that short story, she took it to Valentine and said, yeah, this will be a book. And she basically got me the book deal. And I wrote me a 70,000 page novel, Numbers, in 2007. It didn't come out to 2009 because writing a book, man, is mad tedious, bro. I don't know if you wrote a book, but
yo, it's so funny because as you said that, my bookcase is over here, and I got like mad books. But then I did get
yeah, see what I'm saying?
That's why I was like, wait a minute. I was like, because I know I got the book, and that's why I was like, let me just look. And it's like literally like I have like 4 shelves, and it was like right in the corner, and like numbers stuck out. I was like, oh, that's when I reached over. I was like, oh yeah, numbers. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
And look, so this book, that book right there, Numbers, forced me into movies actually too. You know, it was with my son being inspiring me writing that book. So when look into the Numbers right there by Dana Dane, shout out to Nick, Valentine Random House, and a major book deal too. You know what I mean? A major book deal because Random House Valentine is big time. But with that said, I when they sent it back to Nikki Turner because she had a cat, I can't remember the cat name, but he helped me format the book and he gave me a lot of tips, you know, to get the book together. And when I back to the copy editor, man, I wrote that book about times, man. You know what I mean? 7 times, 10. But I'll tell you one thing. After that, I was done. I was like, I can't do that again. Writing the book over, I said, it's got to be something I can tell a story and still get the same, you know, bang for the buck. And that's when I got introduced to writing scripts. Started reading scripts and like, oh yeah, it's not that many pages. You know, you don't need every single detail. It was just a different animal. Yeah. And I started writing screen. And the first screenplay I wrote was Cinderella. Still got it in my thing. Haven't sold it yet, man. I'm gonna get it off one day. But it was the first script I wrote, and I sent that out to Regina King. And Regina King, she wasn't that big. Well, she was always big, but she wasn't on the directing side and the producing side. And that was about 2007. And she agreed to option my screenplay. And we almost sold, but it never happened, though. Yeah. In 2007, 2009, but it never made it happen, though. Man, my eyes look like a mother. But my allergies killing me.
I actually want to go back a little because, like I said, I have a list of things, but you said something that I wanted to touch on a little bit because I see a lot of, you know, my friends that, you know, are in the industry that you mentioned you did a regular job. And I'm going to mention Sadat X specifically because what he does, like, you know, his job, like he has it all over his social media. And like you say, he has a good record out right now and he's about to, you know, bubble up again. Right. But I do know, like with Kwame, D Nice, like so many different people like that actually got regular jobs or was out of the scene for a second, but then came back. And I wanted to just touch on that because I think there's a misconception that people fall off because you don't see them. In fact, I'll get a good example. K Wise. K
Okay,
Wise,
why is that not?
yeah, he was a guest. I had him on here a couple months ago, and like K Wise is one of the wealthiest people I know, but because he hasn't recorded a record, people will immediately say he fell off. And I think that is kind of a misconception that just because a rapper or an actor or somebody's not really doing things the way they were doing it before means that they're not doing well. I mean, look at Dougie Fresh. I mean, well, Dougie Fresh still performs, but he makes his money off of real estate. You know, so
Right.
I shouldn't put people's business out there like that. But at the same time, people already know it's not like it's a secret. But what do you say to people that if they don't see that you're rapping anymore, think that you're not doing anything or you fell off because you're not rapping anymore?
Yeah,
And like I
man,
said, you
get out of
can
that for
tell
my
now,
own
but like,
self.
huh?
Yeah, I had to get out of that own self, said, because I called myself Dana Dane Fame. So I was in Fame World, bro. You know what I mean? Like I had to be Front Street. And then I was like, man, ladies for that fame. I'd rather be in the background, just chilling and surviving and eating, you know what I mean? And you know what? It's okay not to be in the light for me. You know,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of artists have figured that out. It's not so much about being in the spotlight unless it's paying, then you be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And um it's not a monolith either, man. You know what I mean? That's why hip hop is so dope in the first place, because you can come from any culture and background and become hip hop and be part of hip hop culture, because it's a vibe, it's a thing that you do, it's a thing that you live. You know what I mean? And so what that you work a 9 to 5 and then when you come out you do trains and shit in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Or you know you can like to die at a hospital, and on the week you tearing down stages and shit. You know what I mean? I don't think it's anything wrong with living your own life. I mean, hip hop has afforded us the opportunity to be ourselves.
Yeah. But
To
what
be
I
authentic. You know.
But what I can appreciate, and specific with Sadat, we were supposed to do this a couple times. Everybody I end up doing this with, it's always a couple times, and we actually do it like with us. But what I appreciate is that people get to see that you can still be regular and still do your thing, because I know for a fact that coming up and years ago, when people find out that so and so is working at this place, it's like, yo, how this that and that. It's like, it's the circle of life for one.
Yo, greatness is
Um,
regular. That's what the problem is. People don't know that greatness is regular. Being
yeah,
regular is being in your greatness. You know what I mean? And they think they have to work, of course, work for greatness, but you are already great. You know what I mean? It's just, but people put this stereotype that there's one way to be great. You know what I mean? I I know one thing. I'm inspired by Sadat X just because of the love he has for his family, the hard work that he puts in to his dedication towards his career, and that he has never uh, ever turned away from being hip hop all day, every day. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? You know, if it's Dougie Fresh doing state, and then as soon as he get off that real estate deal, he's going to jump on stage and, or cats, rock agents, and now they running the hip hop museum. Shout out to the hip hop museum too as well, because I'm getting inducted. Can't forget that. So we'll talk about that too as well.
yeah,
Master G, he's one of the board members of the museum and over in D. So I mean, hip hop has afforded us to do what we do regularly. You know what I mean? And be a part of something that's unique. The
well,
culture.
let's talk about your induction into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame down in DC.
Hold on for a quick second. I'll be right back.
Go ahead, take your time. Take your time. Thank you for all that's tuning in right now, as we do this thing live, because we do it live.
Yeah, sorry about that. These
But
eyes
yeah,
will not stop watering.
let's talk about that because that's coming up like damn,
August
like
23rd.
well, yeah, about
August
4 weeks.
23rd in DC. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Kwame, the Jungle Brothers, Red Alert, Sweet Tea, Kid and Play,
that's why they added Antoinette.
Holiday, DJ Hollywood, DJ Hollywood, excuse me, you know?
I think they just
Yeah.
added Antoinette as well.
Oh, Antoinette, that's right, I actually called Antoinette, you
Yeah.
know? We get her in the mix. We was trying to get Salt and Pepper and Herbie Love Bug. That would have been off the hook. It would have been an Idol Makers fan, but we got some of the Idol Makers there. You know what I mean? We got half. We got more than half actually. Sheesh. You know?
Yeah, because I was talking to DJ Wiz, because of course DJ Wiz, you know, and the fact. Oh, another thing you were was a party promoter. For people that didn't know, Dana and I, along with the Awesome Two, DJ Wiz of Kid and Play.
Yo, mix party. That was a dope party you had there in 15, man.
Ralphie Daniels and this ugly DJ named DJ Burn, you know.
DJ Burn. Always trying to hold speakers. Bring the speakers, Burn. Bring the speakers.
And we did that for about what, 13, 14 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And look, we did it all the way to our move to LA. Y'all was still rocking. Y'all was killing it, man. I mean, you know, I remember we first started that joint, man. And it was a few people that came, but it just became like home for people after a while, man. When we did that party, man. And Serge over there was always cool with the property. You know what I mean? That was a good party, man. That was a good party.
We kept them in business, like literally. We kept them in business. You know,
that's a whole fact. Then they blew up after that. Then they started getting real parties.
Yeah, we had more people on a Wednesday than they had on Fridays and Saturdays. So we did our thing. We did it, and as a matter of fact, we did the when Salt and Pepper did their VH1 honors. They came through that particular night. The week of the taping. And like I said, we can literally sit here and talk about the many accolades and the people.
Legendary had dope parties there. Rick performed, Rob Days.
Oh,
Funk Flex on the Funk Flex, Scratch. We had mad DJs. Come on, man.
Remember, UTFO did their first show in over, I think, 14 years when they reunited at the a video mix party. So the only thing I wish we had done more of, because is basically like more filming. Because I'm pretty sure Ralph definitely has some things, but you know, Ralph was also working, so he couldn't film everything. But that would definitely make a great documentary, just because of the people and the fun that we had and the whole concept of the video mix party. And shout out to Wiz for bringing it to fruition.
Shout out to Jay Wiz, the video mix party creator.
Yeah,
he had that.
So
he definitely got that.
That was definitely a good thing. Wait, let me look at my list because as far as like, and the reason why at the beginning of the episode where I stated that you were a legend, you know, a pioneer, is because you were actually the first Brooklyn rapper to have a gold to be certified gold. Before Jay-Z, before Big Daddy Kane, before anybody from Brooklyn, you were the first one. So once again, congratulations.
Yeah, the first solo rapper. We know we had.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Boys, and we had Houdini. You know what I mean? So that was, you know, who I followed after. But yeah, as a solo artist.
That's what I meant solo. Yeah. And I also had Grandmaster D on here. A couple of that was like last year. That's last year. But you also, another thing that people recognize you for, let me not say recognize, acknowledge you for, was the fashion in hip hop. Because back then, fashion wasn't a thing, but when you came on the scene, like, I knew you, so I didn't really pay attention in the same way that other people that were involved in hip hop, when they were like, yo, Dana Dane was the first with the Kango and with the was it the Wally, whatever it was.
Yeah, the ballets, the Playboys, yeah, we kept it going, you know. The only thing about that is, you know, one thing I don't have is a lot of pictures though. As much as people know was fly, like Rick got a whole bunch of pictures. My name was Dana Dane with fame, like to take pictures, man. Well, they don't add up. You know what I mean? So with that said, I don't have a lot of footage of me being fly, but the word of mouth, people know what I added to the game, fashion wise, and what I did. You know what I mean? And you know, so that's a blessing. You know, that's definitely a blessing.
Oh, DJ Music Rock was a shout out to DJ Clark Kent because for those that don't know, DJ Clark Kent actually was Dana Dane's DJ when Dana first came out. Definitely a shout to him.
Clark Kent, rest in peace.
Clark
Yeah,
Kent.
me and Clark Kent, you know, that was a full, you know, I always say full circle. That's a full circle moment. When I first met Clark Kent, I performed, like one of my first performances. It was at Irving Washington High School in Manhattan. It was like the records.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like my song came out September. No, I got the deal September 20th. The song came out October 12th. Around somewhere over November, I did a show in Washington Irving, and Clark Kent just happened to be the DJ. I didn't have a DJ yet, so he put on the record for me, and we survived. But he wasn't my DJ. I went on. I got my DJ from the project. His name DJ J Rock, and J Rock rocked with me through Nightmares and through like a little bit of Delancey Street. So when I did Delancey Street, that's when I reconnected somehow with Clark Kent, and then he started DJing for me on Delancey Street, and then throughout the whole Dana Dane with Fame album, and that's how we came up.
I think because of the fact that he was like with you on the first album, where that's why I had the misconception that like, and you figured that I would have known, but now that you said that, yeah, but people probably correlated him being down with the album because you know he was in the video, and just him being him. And I didn't know until like right before he passed away, because you know with DJ Scratch, of course, DJ Scratch speak to Scratch like I don't like him, but I speak to him often. But I didn't know the close friendship. I didn't know the close friendship that him and Clark had growing up.
Well. I didn't know it went back to all the way boys to men type, you know.
Yeah. And when he told me, because when the rumors started coming out that he had actually passed away and he didn't, I just happened to speak to Scratch, and like that's when I found out that he was actually like practically best friends. And the reason why I bring that up is because I've also realized that there were a lot of people that came up in the game that may not know that people were connected from like childhood. And like I said, we could go on with so many different people because I have knowledge of a lot of people that I'm like, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And it's just crazy knowing that in this particular game, even when I was talking to Grandmaster D, like, you know, even he was telling me like some of his close connections from when he first started, because he told me he started out as an MC. So it's like, and that's another reason why I like doing it, because then I could know you for 50 years and still find out things during the filming of the program, which will bring me back. Okay, you know what? I was talking to Lazy Lays. Lazy Lays, he does his morning show, the morning emails, and we had a conversation one day, and you came up somehow for whatever reason. Oh, because this is when I told him that we were about to talk, and this was like months ago, and of course we're finally talking. They had asked a question about one of his friends had asked about your accent, and they was like, why was Dana Dane trying to be a fake Slick Rick? And I had to explain to him that actually I'll let you tell them the story, because I explained to them that, you know, Rick didn't want to use his accent because he was. I'll let you tell the story, because like I said, that's something that like people don't really know, because people always wondered. Even people that ask me like, well, if Dana's from Brooklyn, why does he rap that way? Just let them people know like that story.
well, you know the story, said, because you was there, you know. But yeah, you know, back in the days, everybody wanted to sound like Melly Mel in them. You know, that was the sound. You know, Treacherous 3. It was that New York sound. And Slick Rick, Kulowski, even Omega the Heartbreaker had a little bit of an accent. You know what I mean? Jamaican, British accent, especially when they got upset. It came out of whatever. You know what I mean? And then it was Kulowski. He was Brooklyn like me. You know what I mean? But they were trying to sound more American, and I'm like, I don't know why y'all trying to sound American when that's the sound. So I just started, because we rap so much together, it just became part of who I become. And I was learning to rap at the same time, so that's how I became Dana Dane with the Kangol Crew. You know what I mean? They used to write most of the routines. I wrote like a couple of rhymes. I never acted I was the dopest. I just came out as being one of the dopest because I honed my craft the way I wanted to. I did what I wanted to, and I became who I wanted to. But it was we fed each other. We were the Kango Crew. You know what I mean? They wanted to sound like me. I wanted to sound like them. We dressed alike. We took a little bit from each other, and those, we kept the things that stuck with us, and we let the things that didn't work go. You know what I mean? It's like, Rick, he was doing. You remember when I did my documentary at that time when you came to talking on my documentary, right? So Rick,
I bring it up.
yeah. Rick came. I'm still gonna get my documentary done. But Rick came to the documentary and he said to me after, because they asked a few questions, we were standing outside. He said, "You know what's crazy?" He says, "You come from the worst part of Brooklyn with crime and everything, and I come from, it's okay, it's not as bad, and my shit is rah rah, and your shit is clean, like total opposite." So it just, just one of those things. We are who we are, you know what I mean? Gravitate towards what we want to be, Rick always wore gold chains in school, so, and he had a bunch of little ones. Now he's got a whole bunch of big ones, you know what I mean? He used to come in there wearing all the jewelry he could find in the house, you know what I mean? His sisters, his cousins, and he'd wear them all. And I'm not surprised that's who he became in regards to jewelry, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. When I got into this business, man, of rapping, and this other story, God bless Biz Markie. That's my guy. And when Rick came out with Lottie Dottie in the show, I think Nightmares had just came out, or right before one or the other. I ran to Biz Markie, and Biz Markie was like, "Yo, Dane, come on, let me be your beats, man." And a song was out, Nightmares was out, and I was like, "Nah, I can't do it." I said, "I'm getting so much slack already because me and Rick, they think we sound alike, we dress alike, we kind of look alike. If I get a beatbox, it's over, And so I turned Biz Markie down. So every time I used to see Biz Markie, that was a running joke. "Yo, Dane, remember when I asked to be your beatbox? Remember when I asked to be your beatbox? You turned me down?" I said, "Biz, why you keep saying that? Damn, your career is bigger than mine, Biz. What you worrying about that for?" Much love to Biz Markie.
I'm gonna ask you something that people have been asking me for years, and I know you did it once, but people have always been asking me, and it's like, well, if Rick and Dana were part of the Kangol Crew and they came up together and they're best friends, how come they don't have any songs together?
Yeah, I don't know why. You know what I mean? I don't know. It never. I don't know. I think it's opportunity. You know what I mean? For Dane. When we tried record, actually Rick was going to produce a song for me for my second album, or was it my first album? One of them. Whatever the album was, Profile wouldn't let it happen because before they didn't like artists to really mix. But we did do one song together for the WWE. We actually did two songs for the WWE. They never really came out. One was called "This Is the Song I Don't Like" because we didn't have a hook, and he's like, "This is the part we don't like because we didn't have a hook." And then "Pimpin' Ain't Easy." We did that joint, and it didn't come out on WWE. They actually took us off it and put Ice-T on it because he was more of a pimp than us. So, but the song was good though. And we did a song with Vance Wright actually. Me and Rick did a song with, I can't remember the name, but it was about I had a homeboy named that I lost the violence, and he had a homeboy that he lost the violence, and we both had wrote a song about our homeboys, and Dan's Right still got that song. Did we do any other ones? I don't know if we did any other ones. So yeah, I don't know. You know, I never even asked him to do a song with me. He asked me to do a song with him. I don't know why.
Well, there's one song that I want to hear, and I think it's probably one of the best songs you ever created, you ever rapped on.
Oh, here we come. If we not be talking about Fame 2000, the joint you did.
For those who didn't know, I actually spent some time as a music producer.
Yeah.
And I actually got
one of your many careers, your slash. I
try to be like you, but I actually got the opportunity to produce a song for Dana Dane. I don't even have it. I mean, I may have it on a cassette, but I don't.
I got the 2-inch. I still got the 2-inch.
I would hope so. Shit, you know.
Yeah.
So that way, you know,
it was a that song's a good vibe. Red Alert loved that song, man. He loved that song. He
great song.
Because it reminded him of Dana Dane with Fame, and he liked the. You sampled a dope ass track too. I can't remember which one it was. And somebody used that joint after too a few times.
Yeah.
And it was a dope track that you sampled though.
Give me that bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Give me the good life. Yeah.
Yeah, good life.
And
the way you sampled it was dope too.
Yeah, but and I chopped it up in a way where it's like, yo, you know, because people loved it. Because like but before you heard it, because what I liked is like the minute you heard it, as many tracks I played for you, you heard that, you was like, yo, let's hit the studio. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, a lot of Sergana said what's up. Sergana Streeter. I think he graduated.
Sergana Streeter. Oh yeah, what's up?
He graduated with my brother. He graduated in 85. Yeah, graduated in 85.
No doubt.
Yeah, because everyone loved that. And when you did it, I was like, oh yes, this is that and the other. And then for whatever reason,
we ain't get no legs behind us. We ain't had no machine. We ain't have nothing. I just had a record. They're like, no backing at all.
I mean, I was so happy because I was able to do it, and you know.
Yeah, it was dope, man. We studio vibe, and man, I still remember that's the studio with Tupac. Right.
On 40 right 47th and Broadway. Yeah, where Tupac got shot. Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the studio, but I remember that studio.
Yeah. And you know, it's so funny because as a producer, I actually did a couple of tracks with other artists. So it's just funny that, you know. But anyway, once again, I lost track what I was about to ask, but it hit me. I was like, wait a minute, I produced a track for Dana. What's up with that?
Word.
And then
I'm about to re-release that.
Studios, yes, Quad Studios. Thank you, Music Rocker. Quad Studios. It was Quad Studios.
Oh yeah, Quad Studios. Yeah,
Quad Studios. Tell me about Deaf Beat Entertainment, because of course that's named after one of your songs.
This beat is Deaf Beat. Yeah, Deaf Beat Entertainment, Def Jams, Deaf Beat. Man, I was down with the deafness from day one. I always loved the Def Jam, so I made Deaf Beat Entertainment, and I started in 2003. And I started as a music company. But, of course, the only thing I knew was making music, so I was going to make music. Had my own record label, but from there it became my publishing company as well, where I dropped my first book, Numbers, and then eventually became my media entertainment company, which it is now. When I did my first DVD series, I told you about the Sty. So, Deaf Beat Entertainment, we've been around for a minute and really just starting to get traction, and people know what Deaf Beat Entertainment is. We've been creating content, maybe not making a lot of money from it yet, but that's we're turning in the right direction right now. You know, it's always been about creativity and quality, you know, and bringing ideas from conception to completion, and then doing that all over again. And I like that the effort of being collaborative and creating something and being true to story, and that's what Deaf Beat Entertainment is about. And we always on beat. We always got the right beat. You know what I mean? Whether it's telling a story, hitting the right beat, or doing music, we hit the right beat, or whatever. Even in the mind, you know what I mean? We always have to. We always on beat. So this be the Deaf Beat is my, and you know, we growing, man. We got some big things planned for the coming years.
You know what? Let me go back because I never finished, give you your props when it came to the fashion and hip hop because you've been acknowledged by even Jay-Z and like in other Brooklyn artists that you actually set the tone for. While you were coming up and you were getting the recognition, like it might be a stupid question, but I don't think it is. But how does it make you feel knowing that? And that's the reason why I said pioneer, because I think people use two words too often and it doesn't fit pioneer and legend.
Right.
Like those words are thrown around. But you were definitely because you were so in front with it that you had people that are considered legends acknowledging your part in that when it comes to the Brooklyn fashion and things of that nature. I'm from the Bronx. I've always hated Brooklyn. I will always hate Brooklyn. So I'm never going to ignore.
When I always loved Bronx, I used to be hanging out in the Bronx. I used to go straight up to the Bronx after school.
You know what's funny because you were the one that told me. My brother, of course, he passed away 2 years ago. Actually, it'll be 3 years in August. You were the one that told me that he would bring you to the Jew Man, like
On
and
Simpson
like some
Street.
of those places. I didn't know because like I'm thinking that like once I got to music and art, my brother. I used to say the story all the time. When I got to music and art, I was Damon's younger brother. By the end of
Right.
by the end of my first year, he was Cedric's older brother.
Right.
He used to hate that. He used to hate that. And I remember you telling me when you told me, I was like, I'm gonna use a big word. I was flabbergasted because here I am thinking that even though, of course, y'all already knew him, I'm thinking that I'm the cooler brother. I'm the one that this, that, and the other. But then when you was like, well, he was the one that took us up to this. He's the one that brought us to the Bronx and Rick and me and this. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, damn. I'm like, my brother was a little bit cooler than me then, and I didn't know it.
Yeah. You're always cooler than you said. I'm gonna have to break the news to you.
And I always teased him about it.
Roll with us, bro.
My brother used to hate it because every time I'd be like, yeah, I would say the same story all the time. And he'd give me that look like he wanted to choke me, like, we heard this for the past 20 years. And I'm like, and you're gonna hear it another 20 years. I came in as Damon's little brother, and you left as Cedric's older brother. So, but I did appreciate when you did tell me that because, like I said, I didn't know that, and
Damon always cool, man. He was one of us. To hang out with us on standing up by the fence while we was rapping. Always, he wasn't trying to be in the group or nothing like that, but he was always the cool man. He was a leader, though. You know what I mean? But he always laid back in the cut at the same time, man. The voice of reason. I used to call him the voice of reason guy.
and the thing is, it was partly due to him that one. Well, it was 100% the reason why I went to music art was because of my brother. So if he was alive, you have to thank him for actually being my friends because I followed him.
You have to thank him.
I wanted to follow my brother to music and art because remember back then, music and art was the Fame High School. The only thing people knew about music and art was Fame.
It was Fame, exactly.
And I've been telling people that after, I'm going to credit, there were celebrities there before y'all, because when people speak about music and art from the 80s up, like you, Rick, MC Search, there's so many people that we could definitely acknowledge as the next wave of celebrities. And then it got to the point where even I graduated with, she graduated with me, Jennifer Aniston. Then Nicki Minaj went there years after us. Omar Epps, Marlon Wayans, Bokeem Woodbine, Miss Jones graduated with me. So it's we had so many people that actually, and of course before us, Billy D. Williams, Ben Vereen, so many different people, and for us to be involved in such a line. And then I actually heard a couple of years ago, one of the finalists from America's Next, whatever the singing show is, one of the finalists went to LaGuardia. So it's recently within the last 3-4 years. So you never got the chance to go to LaGuardia because LaGuardia For people that don't know, music and art was the high school. Well, performing arts, there was two schools. There were sister schools. Performing arts, which was mostly arts and acting and instruments, and music and
Yeah.
art, which was arts, music, and performing arts had drama as well.
Yeah, they had the drama. We didn't
Yeah,
really have the drama.
because you had
Music, just art,
they had
really.
Dondre
Yeah.
Whitfield, Carl Payne, Tashina Arnold went to music and art. Like so many people went to our school within
Yeah.
that time where it's like really amazing. But LaGuardia House,
Yeah. All the girls in Little Shop of Horrors went to Music and Art High School,
yeah,
I
because
think.
actually Tashina was in Little Shop of Horrors while she was at music and art.
Right. And
So
so was Michelle Weeks too. That she was the third member of Little Shop of Horrors.
yeah, exactly. And there was and like we could literally go on for another 20 minutes about the people that attended performing arts, music and art in LaGuardia. But I always brag because our class, 1986, we were the only school to do 2 years at what everyone called the old school and the new school. So everyone else,
Y'all had the best of both worlds then. Yeah, yeah.
and and I remember, and I have this picture on my Facebook, and I wish I had remembered to post it down. You and Dana, I mean, you and Rick actually came to the school on our graduation because I took a picture with y'all, and it's on my
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
page.
Yeah,
When
no,
I
and and you was talking about the fashion, and that was a thing, man. I used to always wear a lot of colors, and I was like one of the first cats wearing pink too. I used to wear a lot of pink back in the day, so
before
and
Cameron,
with bright colors and long trench coats, man. I used to wear mad long trench coats before they was the thing to do and stuff like that. You
well,
know?
you wore for different reasons because the crime was real back then. But um, I want you to tell the people who the alumni is. We didn't no we
Oh,
didn't talk about them. No, the alumni.
the alumni, man. I think we the super hip hop group, that came together. I don't know if it was one before. I know there's a lot more now. You know what I mean? But we started in 2011. At the end of 2011, it was actually Chuck Rock who was trying to put it together since 2007, and then we finally came together and made it happen in 2011. He invited Chuck, yo, dang man, we was on the road, and he said, yo, we should just come together and go out as one, and they can, make us a group, and he had ed, special ed, and like, it was like, yeah, and we didn't know where to go from there. Then fast forward years later, he brings me back up again, and I said, yo, no, we can get Kwame, and then he said, okay, Chuck Rock said, I'm gonna call Ed, he's still down, and then once we got the four guys, I said, we need a female, and so we threw names that we thought would do it because at the time, the climate of hip hop, I don't even know who was working or not working. I think we said Sweet Tea and Roxanne and Shantae, and then Kwame said Moni Love. And then he said, "Word, Moni Love." He said, "Yeah." He reached out and asked if we should be down. And next thing you know, we had a super group. Hip hop artists. The alumni was born. And now, Special Ed is no longer rolling with the alumni, but Greg Nice was filling in when one of us couldn't make it. Now he's he's always been official alumni from day one, to be honest. You know what I mean? And also Smooth B. So Nice and Smooth now is part of the alumni. So you may see all seven of us together. Matter of fact, yeah, all seven of us going to be together in Philadelphia on August 24th at the Lady B. Block party. I think she called a basement party.
That's like the next day from the hip hop
Yeah,
music.
from the Wishing party. Yeah, from the
Because I was gonna take the train down there, but maybe I'll drive so that way I can drive to Philly and then just drive back home. Well, I'll talk to you offline about that, but that's a good look. That's a good look.
Yeah. So it's gonna be all seven of us, actually. You know what I mean? On stage, the alumni, Chuck Rock, Kwame, Moni Love, and Nice and Smooth. That's six. All six of us.
And Chuck Rock is the only one that doesn't have the pleasure of saying that he's my friend. Ed of course has been on the show, and of course I'm going to take credit for Moni Love blowing up because when she came to the States and she did the middle video and she asked me to be in it, she blew up after that. So I'm going to take
I know
credit.
you said you're the original video vixen.
And I hate DJ Scratch for that, because DJ Scratch was the one that gave me the video vixen. It was like, oh, Seth was a video host. Seth was in so many videos. One day
You
Scratch
the man
was
videos, though, said you the man videos.
yeah, it was. But it was DJ Scratch that one day, I don't know what it was. He was like, yeah, Seth was a
Scratch is hilarious, though. That's right.
And it stuck. And I was so mad at Scratch for that. Everybody was like, oh, Seth is a video vixen. I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like,
yeah,
I used to get Scratch.
I knew him and Clark Kent was always tight, because they had the Superman crew, but I didn't know they went back to that young of an age, though. I know they went back to that young of an age.
I never knew that. And actually, I gotta get Scratch on there as well, because I gotta give Scratch credit, because he's been doing push-ups. He does like 700 push-ups a day. And what I always say to people is, I hate when one of our legends or one of our friends die and everybody wants to all of a sudden get healthy, but then they'll do it like for a week and then get back. And Scratch has been doing this thing, and now Scratch
he's been on it, the health kick, and then he because he was working, and now he's just probably back on it.
Yeah. Because he told me he started, I think, last July as a regular, and now he think he Brooklyn, so now he think he can fight now because he got a little bit of muscle in his little.
Yeah, I did radio on Vision Radio. I was a radio person on Scratch Vision.
Oh yeah, that's right. Radio. I was gonna talk about that too. Like I have so many things. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man. But man, it's all been a blessing, though. It's just about finding your passion, what you love to do, and I love being creative. You know what I mean? And so, having definite entertainment and now doing films, get to continuously be creative in all facets, from making music to writing to just inventing something from scratch. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So I even work with Thurston House as the AD, him with Bob Slow, the director, they did like 5 films and 5 videos, 6 videos in 4 days or something like that out in Cali. So that's really dope. You know what I mean? We were shooting a video and a half a day. And that's right before I moved out. I moved in and relocated over here, for a little while, and that's real cool though. So man, I just like being creative, man. I'm looking forward to doing more. Right now, I'm working on a sci-fi thriller. I'm working on a documentary. We got a new movie coming out called Militant Heart that my partner Queen Norris wrote and directed. So I'm a producer on that. I got a horror flick called Lux. I released that to a pay-per-view, but I'm gonna put it on streaming as well. I got another movie Out the Gate that I produced that we sending that to distribute in the next week or so. Also another movie called A Rough Sea that we produced entirely in Kenya. So that's going. I'm sending that out to the distributor in about another 2 weeks, and then I got. And my wife did a show when we first went to Africa. We created a show on our phone called Away to Africa. They're showing us living a 4 or 5 star, vacation life. So that's a 5-part series, about 20, 25 minutes each episode. So we got that coming as well. And that's not going to be into the new year, though. So creating content, man, you know what I mean? And enjoying. Then I got to get back to my documentary, man, because I got interviews. I got Clark Kent, God bless, he did an interview for me. I got you. I don't know why I got you, but you on it anyway. But then I got Slick Rick and a whole bunch of other people that I work with, my moms and everybody. And I just need to. I didn't finish the documentary because I didn't have any movies out, and I wanted to make sure some of my movies out before I wrapped it up. And now that I have all these feature films and The Living, Die, and Best Die on Tubi right now, that's a 5-part series that I produced, and Honor Amongst Thieves on TV as well. That's a crime that I produced as well. So I've been producing films, man, and just it's starting to come out now. It's just starting to come out.
2 things. Kimberly R. Robinson asks, what happened to Dana loves Tana. I was about to
Oh,
mention that too.
Dana says. That's Dana says. We do this on the YouTube now. Yeah, we got the YouTube channel. Dana says Tana says it's on YouTube, and basically it's showing us our travels through Africa now. You know, our recent travels through Africa. You know, being in Kigali, Rwanda, going to. We just came back from Istanbul, Turkey. We went to South Africa and Kenya. So, yeah, it's still there. We just don't do the relationship thing like we used to, because I don't think Tana likes me, so I got to make sure she don't say nothing bad about me.
Well, I was gonna bring her up anyway because she actually loves me now. Let me stop. I wasn't even gonna bring up the Africa thing because I didn't know if that was a thing, but I'll get back to that in a minute. But from my understanding, you have a nonprofit organization as well.
Yes, from Foster Fabulous Foundation. Tana was a foster care child up to the age of 4. And so what we do through our foster care is provide grants for foster moms for kids from birth to 4 years old. Kind of that and help with some of the expenses that they may have. It's a one-time grant, and we try to help as many families, foster families, as possible. So, you know, from foster care to fabulous, and if y'all don't mind, drop a donation in there so y'all can help us help some children out there, So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah, definitely. You have a milestone coming up, because
yeah, man, my birthday, man,
yeah.
September 6th, bro, right around the corner,
and
I'll be 60 years old. Bro.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, and you look like you're like 65, but anyway,
yeah, man, I'm holding.
So, being that you're, and I mean, of course, I'm like a couple of days behind you.
Yeah, only a few days.
When you first started rapping, now you know us. When we were back then, we're not thinking past 25, let alone 30,
right.
40, whatever. Could you have imagined being 60, still having a hip hop career, and actually morphing into film? Like, would that have been on your scorecard?
Yeah, I think, you know what, man? Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if.
Well, you're from Brooklyn, so you ought to make it past 23 anyway. So yeah, you're one of the lucky
exactly. You know what I mean? That's that. Look, I never looked past. I didn't look past. I was scared to look past any year until then I breathed a little and said, "Oh shit, I think I might be able to live a little." You know what I mean? But before that, it was always touch and go. Gonna make it? Am I gonna make it? Am I gonna make it? But I'm blessed and grateful. I don't film. No, I know film. Heck, no, not at all. I wasn't thinking about it. I just, even though I love films, all the films, I watch all the films. I broke down all the films, how the films was going to end. A lot of times I could guess the ending. I've been always doing that. I just never thought I would be in the film. And, things happen for a reason. I never say, "Dag, I should have earlier." I started when I was supposed to. And I'm doing what I'm supposed to. And I'm enjoying it. And I'm a better producer than I was 4 years ago. And I thought I was dope then, but I know so much now because I opened up myself to different things, especially doing the SAG project, Sin. That's been an eye opener, and just tapped me into a different level of talent, and creativity as well, and business for that matter. So I've learned a lot. I'm still always learning. The biggest thing in movies is funding yourself. So we're getting closer to being able to fund the movies that we want to fund. Just a few more months, and I think we'll be right where we need to be in that regard. And also, I've been able to the music. I haven't put a lot of my music in them, but other people that I know, I'm taking lending their music to our film. So that's another skill that I picked up, music supervision, you know what I mean, and music scoring and things of that sort. So, it's always something to learn in making films. And I just been looking to build a team like, Steven Spielberg and George. You know how they always rally together and each other out. So that's the type of thing I've been building towards. Building a team like that. And I got a few people that I can count on like that, but don't have the team that I really need to like. But getting there, working it out.
I just can't, like I said, things just pop up in my head because I was thinking about your son because I know he was rapping. I mean, he might still be rapping.
Too, man.
Yeah. Now,
I would say he's open to me, man. He just didn't have to get the opportunity yet, but he
no. And the reason why it came up to me like right now is because then I started thinking, I'm like, because back when we were doing M15, I actually wanted to do something because of your son and somebody else at the time, where I wanted to talk to people who were, whose parents were involved in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a question for you, because as I'm talking about this, I can't think of anybody, but I know Rakim's son. I mean, like, there's so many people that their children went on to do rap, but none of them have broken through. Like, you have Steph Curry in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll say Bronny James just for the sake of argument. But you have like even I mean, I'm just saying to myself, I'm like,
well, Jaden Smith, he came through, you know what I mean, as an actor, as a rapper. So
yeah.
He made and Willow. So they made some waves.
But there might be
not many though. It's really not many.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm literally sitting, and I'm glad you mentioned it, because I'm saying to myself, has there ever really been anybody that's was able to break through or break past with? Because even Big Pun's son, and I think he's nice.
And he's nice, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, so like, do you think that because in our genre, like, is it? I don't want to use a word. I don't know what word to use, but
my battery just went out.
Oh, so we have to quickly do this, finish up. But do you think there's a reason why? Because like I said, even including your son, I've heard a lot of rappers' sons or daughters who actually met the man has a daughter. Like, there's so many people that have that doing.
Oh yeah, I heard us spitting too. I just heard us spit.
Like, actually, there's one that I'm just now thinking of that kind of broke through, but I don't really respect her father as much. Corey Lake.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's whatchamacallit's daughter, right?
Yeah, Benzino's daughter.
Benzino's daughter, yeah. Oh man.
But I'm thinking, because I wasn't going to include him, but I forgot he was a rapper. But why do you think that there isn't more? Do you think it's like, I mean, the thing is, we have heard some of them who are actually nice, but for whatever reason, do you think it's because people are expecting them to live in the shadow of their parents?
Nah, I just it's a hard game though, you know what I mean? And there's no Diddy's son came through, you know what I mean?
No, but that's what I'm saying. But it's like,
it's hard. It's for anybody. It's hard in this business for anybody. You know what I mean? And even with help. But I know most parents, we definitely try to get our children into whatever they want to do. They're successful, but at the same time, they got to be able to willing to work for it. Get out there and make it rock like we did. We hit the ground. We went to these parties. We did we did what we had to do to get there. You know what I mean? And sometimes those things don't. I don't know. But it's a hard game. You know what I mean? It's hard.
I just find it strange because, like I said, we have a lot of people who are actually nice, but for whatever reason, and like I said, it just came to my mind as we're talking. Because, like I said, I was thinking about your son. And I'm like, he had a couple of nice songs. And I'm like, well, him being Dana Dane's son is not a good thing. Well, let me stop.
You gotta. Everything is marketing and promotion, though. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can have
the best. It can be a gift and a curse because people. It's just like Michael Jordan's son. People were expecting him to be the greatest because his father was the greatest. So I know when Rakim's son, when they say he's coming out, like everyone's like, oh, Rod's the god and his son, and then all of a sudden it's like you haven't heard. And like I said, that's not to take anything away from him, but I just use him as an example because, Like, it's just funny that, like I said, or there could be somebody that actually did it but never said that their parent was somebody, and we don't know yet, and we'll find out.
Look, like you hit it right, the nail right on the head with Steph Curry. He's like only the one basketball player who has his father.
Well, Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
Klay Thompson's better than his father.
Yeah,
but because I had this conversation with somebody else. There's about 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of people that made their way,
but not superstar level. Yeah, Steph Curry is like the only one that
made their way.
Yeah,
but but at the same time, it's just a hard. It's hard, man. You know what I mean? It's hard. You know,
because it's easier in acting.
Yeah, probably.
You know, Charlie Sheen. You know, you got
a whole bunch of actors, though, right? Yeah, it's a whole bunch of actors.
Jr. There's so many people that their fathers were actors, and they just went right in. And it's like, okay, you get a job, you get a job, you get a job.
Oh, look, we almost forgot one. Then Al Shure's son. You know, he came up.
But he does more acting than he does.
But that's why I said acting. That's what I said.
Well, you know, when I say acting, I meant as far as an actor, because Al Shure was a singer. That's I should have clarified it. Yeah, but you're right. I should have clarified when I meant as far as the same lineage as opposed to
right.
But I don't want to. I've taken up we like I said, we could probably go another 2 hours and still. And like I said, there's so many things we still could talk about, but we could definitely do another one because, like I said, I know, especially with the film. Oh, before I forget again, let the people know who are still here when the film debuts and where and like that type of thing.
August. The name of the movie is Sin. Angel Love, Sean Nelson, and also the Academy Award winner, Mr. Lou Gossett Jr. I produced it. I'm in the movie actually. Okay. I got me a quick little cameo in the movie as well. August 1st on TV. Make sure y'all share it. I'm gonna post it. You know, when y'all see the movie, reshare it. Tell somebody about it. I need this joint to blow up so I can do some more movies.
My dumb ass was trying to watch it the other day until I realized I'm like, oh, it's out August 1st yet.
Yeah. I think in Cali it's gonna come out on July 31st, and then and everywhere else August 1st. But it's a cool movie. You know what I mean? Dutch wrote it, and he did a good job.
Yeah.
The whole team came together. I mean, to make it happen. And you know, at the end of the day, it's one of the best works I've done so far on the films. You know what I mean? And I'm really, you know, I'm really happy the way it turned out. You know, and you know, I haven't watched it in a while because you know we were doing the editing. I was just sending notes back, and so now I get to watch it just like, you know,
everyone else. Like
like fan, you know, because I can't change nothing now. I'm just look at it and enjoy it.
Music Rocker, he did mention it a couple of times, and I got quite a conversation. He said he needs an acting job, and you know, Fort Greene represent, you know. So yeah, I see. Yeah,
Music Rocker is my dude. I mean, come on, Music Rocker, let's get it, baby.
the only Music Rocker owes me his career because
you got him DJing with
Maya. Yeah,
Maya. Why using her video too?
Huh?
Using her video too?
Nah, I was trying to do a video with her, but let me stop. No, for anybody that doesn't know, I did parties at the Grill Village for like damn near 15 years.
Yeah, I remember the Grill Village too. Yeah,
and DJ Music Rocker was the DJ there, my DJ there, and Maya's road manager at the time had came to me and said, "Yo, I need a list of DJs because you know." I think her father was managing her. He's like, you know, he's looking for a DJ to take on a road. And I said, I'm not even going to give you a list. I'm just going to give you one guy. And he wasn't available, so I gave him Music Rocker. Now, Lisa, I told him, damn, what was his name again? I see his face. Anyway, I told him to come by the Grill Village. And so he met Rocker. So I think they made arrangements so he can go audition for the father and Maya. And he's been DJing for ever since. And I still haven't met her.
Really?
It's been like 10 years. Well, he did like He did introduce me. Like it was at a show. It was one of those. Hey, this is it. Hey, like that. She didn't get a chance.
Oh, that's the same way he did me too, man. I'm like, yo, let me meet Mike. He said, hey.
Yeah. But the thing is, I knew that she didn't get a good look at me because she didn't stop to actually be like, "Oh, you're BIGCED." So but it's been about 10 years, and I still haven't gotten a chance to meet her.
Make it happen, music rocker. He said, put it out there.
But like I said,
yeah, man, brother.
Thanks for your time. Oh, social media. Like if anybody wants to, anybody besides Music Rocket that wants to contact you for any interest in anything you're doing, or even
at
just
Dana Dane Media across the board. If it's on social media, that Dana Dane Media, and of course, Def Beat ENT is the the company joint. You know what I mean? Just check out August 1st. I'm excited. Sin.
Wait, hold on. Music Rock. I'm sorry. Music Rock said Maya's coming to New York in August. I think he's just trying to play with me. August is in 2 days. Come on, man. You gotta tell me where. And tell her don't have any security either. Let me stop. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I just got excited.
Nah, it's all good, man. Nah,
she still looks great. So,
Yeah. For sure.
But once again, thank you, man, and good luck with everything. And of course, we're always going to talk. I'm gonna see you on the 22nd. 22nd, right?
Yeah, 23rd.
Yes, I'm gonna see you on the 23rd in DC. Like I said, I'll probably just go to Philadelphia the next day to see everybody. And like I said, we'll definitely talk. Before then. Good luck with Sin and every other movie project that you're involved in. And then when you get to the level where you need like somebody to put you over the top and get you like Denzel status type thing without Denzel numbers, I'll make myself available. Just let me know.
All right. Well, I'm still trying to get that other. I'm still trying to get that discussion with the Kangol Crew going, man. So
yeah.
Get that. All right. And make that rock. That'll be dope. All right. But until then,
hold up. Before also tell the people about the because I don't know the location unless if you had the location about the Hall of Fame induction.
Oh yes, the hip hop. I don't know exactly where it's at, but you can look at it. Google that. Hip-Hop Museum, August. I think the tickets are almost sold out, so you better jump on. All right, that's Kid and Play, May, DJ Cool, the cool DJ, the Red Alert, DJ Hollywood,
Red Alert, yeah,
Jungle Brothers, Sweet Tea, Antoinette, and yours truly, the great one. Come on out and help us celebrate. I appreciate. I'm not one for awards, will give me accolades, so I appreciate it when they come. And it's all good. So,
One last thing. As I'm looking at the screen now, it looks like this is one of the programs where you're a witness and you're hiding your identity.
I know, right?
We're talking about
the light went off. My light went out. I should have had it plugged up, but it's all
That's
good.
why I'm laughing. I'm looking at it like that. Look like one of those shows. It's like, so can you tell me in exact words the description of the suspect?
It's like,
oh, wait a minute. You know what? I'm looking at the page. Keith Williams.
Yeah. Boom, boom. My bad,
oh,
buddy.
Shit.
Yeah, look, we got the me and Keith. That's still my one of my best friends. You know what I mean? And Keith and me got our anniversaries on the same day yesterday. So he got married 12 years before I did. He's been married for umpteen years. But shout out to my man Keith Williams.
I was at your wedding. I just remember because it was hot as hell that day. It was hot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Actually, somebody took a great picture. It was me, Special Ed, and Wiz. And Ed had all the hair. Wiz had the bald hair. And I had like in between. It was so funny the way it looked. So I still had that picture.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
I forgot you was at the wedding. But of course you would have been there, man. You one of my friends, brother.
Definitely. So. I'll never admit it in public again, but
yeah.
Again.
People always ask me if I know BIGCED. And I'm like, BIGCED, the little nigga? I don't know him.
Wait.
Much love said. Thank you, brother.
Thanks again. And
Thanks for man. I greatly appreciate you. Continue
No
greatness.
problem. And for everyone that stayed as long, thank you for tuning in. And as I said, my friends are better than yours. And if you think I'm wrong, show me your friends. And either we're already friends or I'll prove you wrong. Until next time, peace. Peace.
Full
And then
circle.